This is actually the thing I took from the listening was that Professor Delahunty thanked the security guards. You know, he thanked the other speakers and the Federalist Society for bringing him to speak. He thanked the dean of the law school, but he also thanked the security guards, which is a scary thing because they use national security as the pretext for these excessive presidential powers. It's a fear-mongering argument that relies on kind of the ticking time bomb hypothetical that only the president would be nimble enough and secret enough to act to protect our own security. So by Delahunty, in the very first instance, thanking the security guards for this law school and allowing him to speak, I guess that he feels like his security is at risk. I thought that actually gave us the tone of what was going to be in the presentation. Supremacy, presidential supremacy, overriding the judiciary and overriding the legislative branch. And the second speaker, Heidi Katroser, actually did a great job of talking about the warrantless monitoring, which is, frankly, an illegal act that the President Bush tried to, you know, he didn't try, he actually immediately decided that the congressional law was not important enough for him to obey, and that he began to monitor. You's topic this afternoon at 2 o'clock, he's going to speak on how George Washington somehow, you know, I don't even understand it, but he's saying that George Washington somehow must have be the authority for presidential powers. Hi,
how are you?
Some flyers over there.
Having a protest against torture and continued presence of the war and continued prosecution of the war. And we're here at St. Thomas School of Law, where there's a symposium on presidential power.
Doublespeak, who suggested that the president said, well,
I'm Katie Cashel, and I'm a lawyer, and I'm here to support the rule of law. And we cannot have the rule of law when we have our own government and its so-called leaders that are sanctioning torture. Torture is not the way to get good information. This very Catholic university here, St. Thomas, is all about family values, but they need to live those quote-unquote family values by acknowledging the roles that these speakers have had in torture and by promoting true family values.
On the other side.
I'm here because it seems crazy to me that a man like John Yoo, who was gave criminally bad advice to the president and his job as officer in his job in the Office of Legal Counsel, that where we know from many public statements and from the memos that he wrote that he is a likely candidate for investigation and prosecution for war crimes as a lawyer, that he would get a forum at a law school like the University of St. Thomas.
Well, I'm here because I'm very opposed to these people that condone torture, that they are allowed to speak. They are war criminals.
We, as a nation, need to stick to our own laws. that we set an example for the rest of the world. And I really feel strongly about torture. I come from a military family background. And if we allow these things to be done and we totally ignore our own laws and the Geneva Convention, then we don't have really a right to be angry about it when it happens to our own soldiers overseas.
Did you see who came?